The hum of the cloning vats was a constant, a background noise that should have been comforting in its regularity. But today, it was drowned out by the panic in the control room. The holographic star map, once teeming with the vibrant blues and greens of Earth, displayed an ominous void where the planet should have been. The erasure was not just a data glitch, it was a declaration, an alien message written in silence. Dr. Lena Hart, elbows deep in a tangle of biocircuits, froze as the news crackled through the intercom. Earth has been removed from the Galactic Archive, the voice trembled. We're being erased. Lena's fingers tightened around the spanner in her hand, her mind racing. The cloning complex was a marvel of human ingenuity, tucked away in the asteroid belt, far from prying extraterrestrial eyes. Designed to preserve and clone Earth's finest athletes, it now felt like a relic of a forgotten world. Beside her, Alex Reyes, a champion in the interstellar games, slammed his fist against the console. They think they can just erase us? Like we're some kind of glitch? His eyes burned with defiance, a stark contrast to the defeat painted on the others' faces. The aliens, masters of the grand tournament, believed themselves invincible, their superiority unquestioned. But they had never faced a challenge like humanity. Not fully, not with everything on the line. Lena looked at Alex, their shared history flickering through her mind like a film reel. His determination was infectious, and in that moment, she knew they had to act. We're more than a dot on their map, she said, voice steady. We're going to show them what it means to be human. As she spoke, the complex's systems whirred to life, a legion of clones stirring in their pods, each one a perfect replica of Earth's greatest athletes. The sound was a symphony of potential, a promise of what was to come. Lena, if we fail, Alex began, but she silenced him with a look. We won't, she replied, heart pounding with adrenaline and something else, something that felt a lot like hope. But even as they prepared to fight back against the cosmic slight, a new alert flashed across the monitors. The first wave of alien challengers was on its way, their ships breaching the asteroid's defenses, ready to crush any defiance underfoot. We have to move, now, Lena urged, urgency in every syllable. Before it's too late, and as the first tremors shook the walls of the complex, the echoes of their resolve reverberated through the corridors, a clarion call to all who would stand against oblivion. The arena pulsed with the energy of countless alien species, their varied forms twisting and turning like a living tapestry as they cheered, hissed, or hummed in anticipation. Above them, the sky was a swirling mass of colors that defied the human spectrum, a testament to the advanced technology of the Intergalactic Sports Federation, which seemed to bend the laws of nature at will. The tournament had reached its climax, and the human team was unexpectedly in the finals, a development that had not gone unnoticed by the other competitors. On the field, the human team stood huddled together, their breaths visible in the chill air. Alex, their captain, had his arm around May's shoulder, a gesture that was both comforting and strategic. May had been their secret weapon, her agility and quick thinking often turning the tide in their favor. The rest of the team, Jamal, with his unyielding strength, Lila, whose analytical mind could outmaneuver even the most cunning adversaries, and Raj, whose speed was almost supernatural, stood ready to face the challenge ahead. Looks like they're not happy about us being here, May whispered, her eyes scanning the opposing team, the Zyrax, a fearsome insectoid species known for their ruthless tactics and hive mind coordination. Their exoskeletons glistened ominously under the arena's lights, and their compound eyes seemed to follow every movement with predatory precision. Can't blame them, Alex replied, tightening his grip. We're the first human team to make it this far. They probably didn't expect us to last past the qualifiers. Jamal chuckled, his voice a deep rumble. Let them underestimate us. It's worked in our favor so far. But as the match was about to begin, the announcements stopped abruptly. The massive screens that hovered above the arena flashed with an ominous image, a dark, swirling mass, like a void made manifest. The crowd's noise died down to a hushed murmur of confusion and fear. Alex felt May tense under his arm. What is that? She asked, her voice barely audible. Something not good, Raj answered, his usual light-hearted demeanor replaced by a rare seriousness. It's the Void Storm. I've heard rumors. They say it's a trap. Before Alex could ask further, the screens flickered again, and a voice boomed across the arena, dripping with disdain. Attention, inferior species. This tournament is now under the control of the Void Sovereignty. Your participation is no longer voluntary. Welcome to survival. The air in the arena seemed to drop several degrees. Alex exchanged glances with his team, their earlier camaraderie now laced with a shared anxiety. Void Sovereignty? Lila asked, her analytical mind already trying to piece together the implications. I've heard of them. They're supposed to be a rogue faction, manipulating events across galaxies. And now they've hijacked the tournament, Jamal said, his fists clenching. Great. The Zyrax team across the field seemed to be in disarray, their hive mind connection thrown into chaos by the sudden shift in circumstances. Alex knew this was both an opportunity and a danger. The hive mind was their greatest strength, but also their Achilles heel. Stay focused, Alex urged, stepping back to address his team. We need to stick together. This isn't just a game anymore. It's about survival. May nodded, her eyes meeting his with a mix of fear and determination. We've got each other's backs, right? Always, Alex replied, his voice steadying as he drew strength from her presence. The arena's lighting shifted, bathing the field in a harsh, metallic glow. The screens now displayed a countdown, and Alex realized with a jolt that the game had begun. But this was no ordinary match. The field transformed, obstacles and traps appearing seemingly at random, a testament to the Void Sovereignty's control. The human team sprang into action, their movements synchronized through countless hours of practice and shared experience. Alex led the charge, his mind racing to adapt to the unpredictable terrain. He could feel May's presence beside him, her movements fluid and precise as they navigated the chaos. Behind them, Jamal and Lila created a formidable defensive line, their combined abilities keeping the Zyrax at bay, while Raj's speed allowed him to dart ahead, scouting for opportunities and dangers alike. As they pressed forward, Alex felt a surge of adrenaline, each heartbeat amplifying the stakes of their situation. The crowd's reactions were a distant echo, their alien voices blending into a single, incomprehensible roar. Yet, within this maelstrom, Alex found clarity. Incoming, Raj shouted, his voice cutting through the din as a massive energy barrier materialized before them, blocking their path. May reacted instantly, her reflexes honed to perfection. She launched herself into the air, twisting mid-flight to clear the barrier with an acrobat's grace. Alex followed suit, his leap powered by desperation and determination. As he landed, he stumbled slightly, but May was there, steadying him with a touch that sent a reassuring warmth through his body. We've got this, she breathed, her confidence infectious. But as they regrouped, a shadow loomed over them. It was the Zyrax captain, larger and more formidable than the others. Its mandibles clicked ominously, and Alex realized this was not an opponent that could be easily outmaneuvered. Raj, Lila, flank it, Alex commanded, formulating a strategy on the fly. Jamal, you're with me. May, look for an opening. The Zyrax captain charged, its exoskeleton absorbing their initial attacks with ease. Alex and Jamal worked in tandem, their movements a dance of coordinated strikes and feints, but the alien was relentless, its hive mind driving it forward with single-minded purpose. In the midst of the battle, Alex caught a glimpse of May darting around the flank, her eyes scanning for a weakness. Their eyes met, and he knew without words what she intended. It was a risky maneuver, but their options were limited. Just as the Zyrax captain lunged, May made her move. She slid beneath its towering form, her blade slicing through a joint in its armor. The creature shrieked, a high-pitched sound that reverberated through the arena, and for a moment, the hive-mind connection flickered. Now, Alex shouted, seizing the opportunity. Together, the team launched a coordinated assault, overwhelming the Zyrax captain with a barrage of hits that left it reeling. As the creature fell, the screens above the arena flared to life once more, displaying a new directive from the Void Sovereignty. Impressive, the voice intoned, carrying a hint of grudging respect. But your resistance is futile. The void is eternal. The ground beneath them trembled, and Alex felt a chill that was not entirely due to the temperature. The arena was shifting again, the environment becoming more hostile, more distorted. It was as if reality itself was unraveling under the void's influence. We need to end this, Lila said, her voice cutting through the chaos. Before they tear everything apart. Alex nodded, his mind racing. They had come this far, defying the odds and expectations of a galaxy that had dismissed them as insignificant. But now, facing the full force of the Void's sovereignty, they were outmatched. "May," he said, turning to her with urgency, "we need to disable their control. If we can break their hold on the arena, we might stand a chance." May's eyes met his, her resolve unwavering. "I'm with you, Alex. Always." Together, they pushed their way through the shifting landscape, the rest of the team covering their advance. The arena was a battlefield now, filled with the cacophony of clashing forces. The Zyrax had regrouped, their numbers swelling as reinforcements arrived, but the human team pressed on, driven by the stakes of their situation. The control nexus was at the heart of the arena, a massive structure pulsing with dark energy. It was heavily guarded, but Alex and May moved with purpose, their path as clear as the bond that held them together. As they approached, the air crackled with tension, the Void's presence palpable. Alex felt a surge of emotions, fear, doubt, determination, all swirling within him. But May's presence was a beacon, her touch grounding him as they faced the final challenge. "We can do this," she whispered, her voice steady and sure. Alex nodded, drawing strength from her confidence. Together, they launched their assault on the Nexus, their every move a testament to the trust and understanding they shared. The Void Sovereignty's defenses were formidable, but their determination was unyielding. In the end, it was not just their skills that turned the tide, but the connection they had forged, a bond that transcended the boundaries of their species, a love that defied the Void's darkness. As the Nexus shattered, the arena was bathed in a brilliant light, the Void's grip finally broken. The sky above cleared, revealing the stars once more, and the crowd erupted into a chorus of relief and celebration. The human team had done the impossible, their victory a beacon of hope in a galaxy fraught with uncertainty. But as they stood together, their triumph was not just a testament to their perseverance, but to the power of love and unity in the face of overwhelming odds. Yet, even as they celebrated, Alex knew this was only the beginning. The Void Sovereignty would not be easily deterred, and the challenges ahead would be even greater. But with May by his side, he felt ready to face whatever the future held. As the arena's lights dimmed and the cheers of the crowd faded, Alex and May shared a quiet moment amidst the chaos, their hearts beating as one. "We did it," May said, her voice filled with wonder and disbelief. Alex smiled, pulling her close. "We did it together." And in that moment, amidst the echoes of their triumph, they knew they could face anything, together. The stadium buzzed with an unsettling energy, a web of tension woven from countless alien eyes bearing down upon the humans. Amara stood at the edge of the field, her heart a storm within her chest. The lights of the arena cast a pale glow over her teammates, their faces set with determination and doubt in equal measure. It was as if the universe itself held its breath, waiting for the inevitable. The tournament had always been a grand spectacle, a galactic gathering of species showcasing prowess in a myriad of disciplines. For centuries, Earth had been a celebrated participant, its athletes admired for their tenacity and ingenuity. But now, it was as if humanity had been erased, their achievements forgotten, their place among the stars reduced to a shadow. Amara glanced at her teammates, each of them a testament to human diversity. There was Marco, his lithe form coiled with potential energy, Ja, her eyes sharp and calculating, and Rena, whose fierce spirit was a beacon of hope. Together, they had trained for this moment, but the weight of their erasure hung heavy around their necks, a noose slowly tightening. Beside her, Rena whispered through clenched teeth, "Do they really think we don't belong here? That we're just gone?" Amara could only nod. The revelation had been a blow. Every star map, every record, every mention of Earth had vanished. It was as if a piece of cosmic history had been deliberately excised. And without that recognition, without a past, how could they claim a future? Their first match was against the Turn, a race known for their agility and precision. Watching them warm up was a study in grace and efficiency. Each movement was fluid, each pass of the ball a seamless transition from one player to the next. The humans looked on with a mix of awe and dread, their own practice sessions seeming clumsy by comparison. Yet, beneath her apprehension, Amara felt a flicker of something else, a nascent defiance. She caught Marco's eye, and he gave her a small, reassuring grin. It was a reminder of the countless hours they'd spent together, honing their skills, pushing each other beyond their limits. There was history there, a shared story that couldn't be erased by a simple act of cosmic censorship. The whistle blew, and the match began. The Turn were relentless, their attacks swift and unyielding. The humans scrambled to defend, their movements a frantic dance against the orchestrated assault. It was clear from the outset that the Turn were superior, their techniques honed over decades of dominance. Amara found herself on the sidelines, watching as the ball zipped past her teammates, the scoreboard steadily ticking in favor of their opponents. Despair nibbled at the edges of her resolve, and she fought to keep it at bay. They were outmatched, yes, but they were not defeated. Amara, Marco's voice cut through the chaos, pulling her back to the present. He was gesturing wildly, the ball headed her way. Instinct took over, and she surged forward, intercepting the pass with a calculated swipe. For a brief moment, the universe narrowed to the space around her, the ball an extension of her will. She pivoted, scanning for an opening, and saw Jaw sprinting into position. With a flick of her wrist, Amara sent the ball soaring, a graceful arc that seemed to defy the odds. Jaw leapt, her form a silhouette against the lights, and with a deft header, she sent the ball past the Turn goalkeeper. The humans erupted in a cheer, a small victory captured in the midst of overwhelming odds. Amara felt a surge of pride, a reminder that they were more than the sum of their circumstances. But even as they celebrated, the realization loomed large. The Turn were not only their adversaries on the field. In the grander scheme, they were emblematic of a universe that had turned its back on humanity. As the match wore on, the humans fought bravely, each goal they scored a testament to their resilience. Yet, for every point they gained, the Turn responded with a swiftness that was all but insurmountable. By the final whistle, the scoreboard told a story of defeat, but not of surrender. In the locker room, the atmosphere was somber. Sweat and exhaustion clung to them like a second skin, the weight of their erasure a palpable presence in the air. "We're fighting ghosts," Jaw murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. "How do you win against a universe that doesn't even remember you exist?" Amara sat beside her, their shoulders brushing in a silent camaraderie. "We remember," she said softly. "And we have each other. That's something they can't take away." Rena joined them, her fiery spirit undiminished. "We may be down, but we're not out. We just need to find a way to remind them who we are." The resolve in her voice was infectious, a spark that lit a fire within their hearts. They had been outmatched, yes, but they had not been broken. The universe might have forgotten them, but they would carve their legacy anew, one match, one victory at a time. The next day, as they prepared for their second match, a sense of unease settled over them. The arena was a cacophony of alien languages, the hum of anticipation a constant backdrop. Yet, beneath the surface, there was an undercurrent of something darker, a tension that prickled at the edges of their awareness. It was during their warm-up that the true extent of their erasure became apparent. A delegation of officials approached, their expressions unreadable. Amara felt a chill run down her spine as they were informed that Earth's participation in the tournament was under review. Without a place on the star maps, without recognition, their presence here was in jeopardy. The news hit them like a physical blow. Their very existence in this arena, their ability to compete, was hanging by a thread. It was as if the universe was conspiring to snuff out the last remnants of their identity. But even in the face of this adversity, they found strength in each other. Marco took Amara's hand, his grip a lifeline. "We'll show them," he said, his voice steady. "We'll make them remember." The match that followed was against the Varan, a species renowned for their brute strength and tactical acumen. It was a challenge unlike any they had faced before, their opponents a wall of muscle and strategy that seemed insurmountable. As the game unfolded, the humans struggled to find their footing. Each attempt to break through the Varan defenses was met with forceful resistance, their tactics unraveling against the calculated might of their foes. It was a grueling contest, the humans battered but unbowed. Amara found herself at the center of the storm, her mind a whirlwind of possibilities and dead ends. The Varan were relentless, their attacks a tide that threatened to sweep them away. Yet, even in the chaos, she could see patterns, opportunities hidden within the turmoil. There was a moment, a breath suspended in time, when she saw it. A gap in the Varan formation, a misstep that opened a path to their goal. It was fleeting, a window that would close in an instant, but it was enough. With a burst of speed, Amara seized the opportunity, her movements a blur of determination. The ball seemed to sing in her grasp, a symphony of motion and intent. She passed to Marco, who dodged a defender with a nimble twist, then to Rena, whose fierce energy propelled her forward. The sequence unfolded like a dream, each player a note in a melody of defiance. The Varan, caught off guard, scrambled to recover, but it was too late. Rena's shot was true, the ball sailing into the net with a precision that defied the odds. For a moment, the world seemed to pause, the arena a silent witness to their triumph. Then, the stands erupted in a cacophony of sound, a roar that reverberated through the very core of their being. Yet, even in victory, the shadow of their erasure loomed large. The officials, their decision yet unmade, watched with impassive eyes. The humans had won a battle, but the war for recognition, for existence, was far from over. In the days that followed, the humans found themselves besieged by challenges, both on and off the field. The tournament continued, each match a grueling test of their resolve. They fought with everything they had, their victories hard-won and their defeats a bitter reminder of the odds stacked against them. But it was not just the games that tested them. The pressure of their erasure weighed heavily on their shoulders, a constant reminder of the fragility of their place in the universe. They were playing not just for victory, but for validation, for the right to be seen, to be remembered. Amara found solace in her teammates, their bonds forged in the crucible of adversity. Marco's unwavering support, Gia's sharp intellect, Rena's indomitable spirit. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. And amid the chaos, something else began to blossom. Amidst the shared struggles, the late-night strategy sessions, and the moments of quiet determination, Amara and Marco found themselves drawn closer. Their partnership on the field mirrored the connection growing between them, a bond that transcended the confines of the tournament. It was during a rare moment of calm, as they sat together under the alien stars, that Marco spoke of his dreams. "I always wanted to see the universe," he admitted, his voice a soft murmur. "To explore, to learn. But not like this." Amara understood. The erasure had robbed them of their history, their place among the stars. But it had also given them something else, a chance to forge a new path, to write their own story. "We'll find our way," she promised, her hand slipping into his. Together, their connection was a beacon in the darkness, a reminder of what they were fighting for. For Earth, for recognition, but also for each other, for the dreams they refused to let die. As the tournament neared its climax, the humans faced their greatest challenge yet. The final match was against the reigning champions, a species whose prowess was legendary, their dominance a seemingly unassailable fortress. The arena was a sea of anticipation, the crowd a living entity that thrummed with expectation. The humans stood at the edge of the field, their hearts a symphony of hope and fear. They knew the odds were against them. They had witnessed the champion's skill, their precision, their unwavering confidence. Yet, as they took their positions, there was no doubt, no hesitation. They were here to fight, to show the universe that they would not be erased. The match was a tempest, a whirlwind of motion and strategy. The champions were everything the stories said they were, a force of nature that seemed to bend the very fabric of the game to their will. The humans fought valiantly, their determination a shield against the tide. Despite the onslaught, Amara found herself in the center of the storm, her mind a dance of possibilities. She could see the patterns, the gaps, the fleeting opportunities that whispered of hope. It was in a moment of clarity that she saw it, a flaw in the champion's strategy, a vulnerability that could be exploited. It was a gamble, a risk that could end in disaster, but it was their only chance. With a nod to her teammates, Amara set the plan in motion. The ball moved like lightning, a blur of motion that defied the champion's defenses. Marco, Ja, Rena, they played like a symphony, each note, each movement a testament to their unity. And in the final moment, when hope seemed lost, Amara struck. The ball soared through the air, a comet blazing a path to glory. The champions, caught off guard, could only watch as the impossible became reality. The stadium erupted, a cacophony of sound that shook the very foundations of the arena. The humans had done it, they had defied the odds, carved their place in the annals of history. Yet, even in victory, the shadow of their erasure lingered. The officials, their decision still pending, watched with silent contemplation. The humans had won a battle, but the war for recognition, for existence, was far from over. As they celebrated, Amara found herself drawn to Marco, their triumph a shared victory. Their connection, forged in the fires of adversity, was a beacon of hope, a reminder of what they had achieved and what they still had to fight for. Together, they faced the uncertain future, their hearts a symphony of defiance and dreams. For Earth, for recognition, but most of all, for each other. The stadium's metallic shimmer under the foreign sun seemed to mock the humans as they entered, each step echoing with the reminder of Earth's fragility. The alien crowd's chitinous cheers and the pulsating luminescent banners were overwhelming, yet invigorating. Despite their precarious situation, there was a determination in the human team's eyes. They had come this far in the intergalactic sports tournament, facing challenges that seemed insurmountable, yet now they stood on the brink of elimination. Captain Maya Rodriguez led her team to the field, her heart pounding with the anxiety of the moment. Her partner, Alex Chen, walked beside her, his nerves masked by a confident, albeit forced, smile. They had trained relentlessly, but the alien teams presented threats that no training could fully prepare them for. Their current adversaries, the Ulrathans, towered over the humans with their sinewy blue forms and multifaceted eyes, which seemed to assess and calculate every potential weakness. Known for their telepathic coordination, the Ulrathans moved with a fluidity that bordered on preternatural. Their captain, Zalra, had been particularly antagonistic, her disdain for the newcomers evident in her scornful glances. The game at hand was Kalar, a sport that combined elements of Earth's soccer and basketball but was played in 3 dimensions, with gravity shifts and obstacles that appeared randomly. The humans were at a disadvantage, their bodies not yet fully adapted to the planet's variable gravitational pull. As the initial whistle blew, the humans struggled to maintain their footing in the artificial gravity field. The Ulrathans, accustomed to such environments, darted through the air with ease, scoring the first point almost immediately. The crowd erupted into a cacophony of cheeps and clicks, a sound that was both alien and discouraging. Alex cursed under his breath. "We need to think differently. We need to adapt." Maya nodded, her eyes scanning the field. Behind her determination was a flicker of doubt. Had they bitten off more than they could chew? But she pushed those thoughts aside, focusing instead on the game. Their first real chance came when an unexpected gravity shift sent both teams tumbling. Maya, recalling her free-running days back on Earth, used the momentum to spring forward, seizing the ball mid-air. She twisted her body in a graceful arc, managing to pass it to Alex just as the gravity stabilized. Alex, with a burst of speed, managed to dodge the Ulrathan's defense and scored. The crowd fell into a stunned silence before erupting into a mixed response. Humans weren't expected to score against such opponents. Zalra's eyes narrowed, and Maya could feel the Ulrathan captain's telepathic presence pressing upon her mind. It was a subtle invasion, an attempt to throw her off balance. She recoiled internally, a bead of sweat trickling down her back. The Ulrathans were playing dirty, and their advantage was evident. The score remained close, but the constant telepathic interference was wearing on the human team. Each play felt like it took twice the effort, and their energy was flagging. An Ulrathan player lunged at Maya, a move that would have broken her ribs if Alex hadn't pulled her away just in time, his instincts honed from years of martial arts training. But the near miss affected them both more deeply than they admitted. As they regrouped, Alex whispered, "We need to end this game soon. We're not going to last." Maya nodded, balancing her fear with a steely resolve. They had to find a way to turn the Ulrathan's strengths against them. As the game continued, an opportunity presented itself. The field's gravity suddenly shifted again, and Maya, observing the Ulrathan's moments of vulnerability, realized they had a pattern. With a quick glance at Alex, she communicated a plan through the unspoken language they had developed over months of training. During the next shift, Maya purposefully stumbled, drawing the Ulrathan's attention. With their focus on her, Alex moved unseen, using the gravity to propel himself upwards. He reached the ball and, with a deft maneuver, lobbed it to Maya, who had regained her footing. With a powerful kick, she sent the ball soaring through the goal. The humans were now in the lead, if only by a point. The crowd's reaction was a mix of awe and confusion. Zalra was visibly frustrated, her telepathic influence intensifying to the point where Maya could barely concentrate. It was becoming unbearable. The final moments of the match were a blur. The Ulrathans, spurred by their captain's fury, attacked with renewed ferocity. The humans were pushed to their limits, their bodies aching, their minds screaming for relief from the telepathic barrage. In the midst of the chaos, Maya found herself separated from her team, cornered by two Ulrathans. Zalra was one of them, her presence crushing. Just as Maya felt she would collapse under the pressure, she remembered Alex's words. Adapt. In a desperate move, she feigned left, then right, confusing the Ulrathans just long enough to break free. She caught a glimpse of Alex, surrounded but still fighting. Their eyes met, and in that moment, Maya felt an overwhelming rush of emotion, fear, hope, and something deeper, something she couldn't name but knew had been growing between them all along. With a final effort, she reached Alex, who passed her the ball. They were outnumbered, outmatched, but in sync in a way that transcended their individual talents. Together, they made one last play, a risky maneuver that defied the odds. As Maya leapt towards the goal, time seemed to slow. She felt the weight of Earth's expectations, the dreams of their species resting on her shoulders. She released the ball, aiming true. The stadium fell silent, the world seemingly holding its breath. But the ball missed by a hair's breadth, bouncing off the rim of the goal. The Ulrathans capitalized immediately, launching a counterattack that was unstoppable. The final whistle blew, and the humans had lost. The Ulrathans cheered, their victory assured. The human team stood in disbelief, the weight of their failure pressing down like a physical force. Maya felt a hand on her shoulder. Alex, his expression a mixture of disappointment and pride, whispered, "We did our best." She nodded, tears brimming her eyes. They had come so far, only to fall short at the final hurdle. As the alien crowd celebrated, Maya and Alex shared a moment of quiet reflection, their hands finding each other in an unspoken promise of support and understanding. The loss was devastating, but amid the despair, there was a glimmer of hope. They had shown resilience, creativity, and an ability to adapt that few had expected. And though they hadn't won, they had earned respect, and perhaps, in the end, that was the first step toward a larger victory. As the team left the field, heads bowed and spirits low, Maya found herself thinking of Earth, of home. This wasn't the end, she realized. It was a beginning. They had learned, had grown, and would return stronger. But for now, as the alien sun set and the shadows lengthened, they faced their darkest moment, uncertain of what tomorrow would bring. And yet, as Alex squeezed her hand, Maya felt a spark of determination reignite within her. They would face whatever came next, together. In the shadows of defeat, the seeds of hope and love were quietly taking root. The iridescent lights of the arena flickered, casting shadows over the battered bodies of the human team. Their breaths formed misty clouds in the cold air of the alien Colosseum, an architectural marvel built by the Centauri, the galaxy's reigning champions. Above, the stands were packed with species from across the stars, their eyes, some luminous, others shrouded, watching with an unsettling curiosity. Captain Emma Rylan knelt on the icy, metallic surface of the field, her hand pressed against her side where a bruise the size of her palm blossomed beneath her uniform. She looked at her teammates, her family in this cosmic odyssey. Each face bore the same expressions of exhaustion and determination, a reflection of her own spirit. "Emma," came a soft voice, barely audible over the roar of the crowd. It was Nathan, her second in command, and, more intimately, the love that had grown quietly amid the chaos of their interstellar journey. She turned her gaze to meet his, taking in the warmth of his hazel eyes despite the frigid surroundings. "I know," she replied, understanding the unspoken concern that lingered between them. "We're not done yet." Their opponents, the Centauri, towered over them, their exoskeletons glistening under the artificial lights. They were a species evolved for this very environment, their speed and strength unmatched in the galaxy. The Centauri captain, a hulking figure named Zaran, stepped forward, his mandibles clicking in what could only be interpreted as mockery. "Humans," he hissed, the universal translator rendering his speech with chilling clarity, "you have fought valiantly, but you are outmatched. Surrender now, and you may yet walk away with your lives." Emma rose to her feet, defiance shining in her eyes. "We didn't come all this way to surrender, Zaran. Humanity doesn't give up." A ripple of laughter spread through the Centauri ranks, their confidence bolstered by their apparent dominance. Emma and her team were battered, but their spirits remained unbroken, a testament to the indomitable human will. The match resumed with a shrill whistle that echoed across the field. The game, a hybrid of Earth's soccer and an intricate Centauri sport, relied on both agility and strategy. The objective was simple: Score by maneuvering the pulsating orb into the opponent's goal, a feat nearly impossible given the Centauri's prowess. Emma signaled her team, a subtle gesture that spoke volumes about their training and trust. They moved as one, a fluid formation that belied their exhaustion. Nathan took the lead, his speed a blur as he charged forward, orb in hand. The Centauri defenders were upon him in seconds, their movements a coordinated dance of aggression. Nathan dodged and weaved, heart-pounding in his chest. He could feel the weight of the universe bearing down, the pressure of an entire species watching, hoping, and perhaps, quietly praying. With a final burst of speed, Nathan passed the orb to Emma, their eyes locking for a fraction of a second, a silent promise of faith and love. She caught it with precision, pivoting sharply as she headed for the goal. The Centauri goalkeeper loomed ahead, a formidable barrier of muscle and exoskeleton. Emma's mind raced, calculating, predicting. She feinted left, then right, and at the last moment, hurled the orb with all her might. The arena held its breath as the orb spiraled through the air, a brilliant comet against the backdrop of the alien sky. It struck the goal's edge, teetered precariously, and with a final defiant flicker, fell short. The Centauri erupted in cheers, their victory seemingly assured. But among the cacophony, Emma's voice rang clear. "We're not done. For every failure, there was a lesson learned. Every setback was a stepping stone." The human team regrouped, their resolve crystallizing into a shared determination. They had come to realize that this tournament was not merely a contest of physical prowess, but one of heart and ingenuity. As the game continued, something remarkable began to unfold. Humanity's trump card was not raw strength, but adaptability. They learned the Centauri's rhythms, their strategies, and began to exploit the tiniest of weaknesses. Nathan, with his keen eye for detail, noticed the Centauri's goalkeeper had a slight delay in his lateral movements. It was a millisecond, but enough for someone quick and decisive. He relayed the information to Emma, their silent communication a testimony to their bond. Emma adjusted their strategy, utilizing their newfound insight. The next time she approached the goal, there was an air of quiet confidence. She moved with purpose, her mind focused not just on the game, but on the faces of those she loved and fought for. Her family back on Earth, Nathan by her side, and the future they all dreamed of. She faked another shot, drawing the goalkeeper into committing to a move. With a deftness born of practice and desperation, she redirected the orb. It sailed through the air, past the outstretched appendages of the Centauri, and struck home with a resounding thud. The scoreboard flashed, a signal of hope that sent waves of disbelief through the Centauri ranks. The humans had scored. The stands, filled with spectators of countless species, buzzed with a new energy. There was something captivating about humanity's refusal to yield, an element of unpredictability that defied the Centauri's calculated dominance. Zaron's mandibles clattered furiously, his composure cracked by the unexpected turn. "You are persistent, humans," he acknowledged, though the words were laced with disdain. "But persistence alone will not secure victory." Emma squared her shoulders, the weight of his words failing to deter her. "It's not just persistence, Zaron. It's heart. It's knowing what you're fighting for." The Centauri underestimated them, assuming the humans' initial success was mere luck. But with each passing minute, Emma's team grew stronger, their attacks more daring, their defenses more resilient. They were no longer simply playing a game, they were orchestrating a symphony of resilience. The tide turned, subtly at first, but with an inexorable momentum. The Centauri's overconfidence, their belief in an assured victory, became their undoing. They faltered, their coordination unraveling under the pressure of an opponent who refused to be crushed. The humans, fueled by an unyielding spirit, capitalized on their adversaries' mistakes with a precision that belied their earlier struggles. With each successful maneuver, they inched closer to an outcome that, moments before, had seemed impossible. Nathan, sprinting down the field, felt the shift in the air. It was the moment he had been waiting for, the culmination of all their efforts. He took a deep breath, lungs burning with exertion, and with a clarity that cut through the chaos, he passed the orb to Emma. She caught it with grace, her heart pounding not just with the thrill of the game, but with the knowledge that this was more than just a contest. It was a testament to what humans could achieve together. She could see Nathan across the field, his encouragement palpable even from a distance. Emma surged forward, her legs powered by an indefatigable determination. The Centauri were on her heels, but she was no longer afraid. Every step was a reminder of the journey that had brought them here, and the belief that they carried with them. In the final moments, as the clock ticked down, Emma executed a move that defied the expectations of every observer. It was a maneuver drawn from the depths of human creativity, a synthesis of earthly sports and alien ingenuity. She spun and leapt, a fluid motion that seemed to defy gravity, and released the orb. It soared, a dazzling arc that captured the attention of every being in the arena. Time seemed to stretch, the world holding its breath as the orb found its mark with a resounding impact. The arena erupted, a cacophony of astonishment and disbelief. The humans had done it. They had secured a victory against the Centauri in a moment that would be etched into the annals of interstellar history. Breathless, Emma turned to her team, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. Nathan was there, his face alight with joy, and in that instant, the connection between them was electric. They had faced the darkness together and emerged stronger for it. The Centauri watched in stunned silence, their arrogance crumbling in the face of an indomitable spirit they had underestimated. Zaran stepped forward, his expression inscrutable. "You have proven yourselves worthy, humans," he conceded, an edge of respect in his voice. Emma nodded, accepting the acknowledgement not as a triumph over another species, but as a testament to the power of hope and unity. "We came here to prove something," she said, her voice steady and full of promise. "That no matter the odds, humanity will always rise." Nathan joined her, their hands entwined in a gesture of solidarity and love. Together, they faced the crowd, a symbol of the resilience and heart that defined their kind. As the lights dimmed and the arena began to empty, Emma and Nathan lingered a moment longer, absorbing the magnitude of what they had achieved. The darkness had been the crucible that forged their strength, and in that darkest hour, they had found not just victory, but each other. In the quiet aftermath, Emma turned to Nathan, her eyes reflecting the stars above. "We did it," she whispered, the weight of their journey settling into a sense of profound fulfillment. Nathan squeezed her hand, his voice tender. "We did it together." And in that moment, amid the echoes of their triumph, they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them with the same unwavering spirit. Because in the heart of humanity, there was always hope. The air buzzed with anticipation inside the stadium, the sheer scale of it dwarfing any human-made arena. It was a coliseum of the cosmos, its towering walls crafted from gleaming, alien metals that refracted light into a kaleidoscope of colors. Thousands of spectators from across the galaxy filled the seats, a vibrant tapestry of species each with their unique forms and features. The atmosphere was electric, humming with a palpable sense of expectation and excitement. At the center of the arena, the human team stood in a tight huddle. Their breaths mingled in the chill of the artificial air, their eyes meeting with a determination forged through adversity. They had been the underdogs since the tournament's inception, a quaint species, barely capable of interstellar travel, let alone competing with the galaxy's elite. Yet, here they were, poised at the edge of something monumental. At the head of the group stood Captain Mia Rodriguez, her eyes scanning her teammates, each a carefully selected paragon of human potential. Her gaze lingered on each face, seeing the fire in their eyes that matched the one in her own heart. They had trained for this moment, pushed beyond their limits, and now it was time to show the universe what humanity was truly capable of. "Remember," Mia said, her voice a low but fierce whisper that cut through the ambient noise, "we're not just here to compete. We're here to redefine what it means to be human." Her words were met with nods and murmurs of agreement. They broke the huddle, each member moving to their positions with the fluidity of a well-oiled machine. This was the final event, the one that would determine their fate in the tournament. It was a multifaceted challenge, designed to test every conceivable aspect of physical and mental prowess. As the first whistle blew, signaling the start, they set into motion. The game was a hybrid of sports from across the galaxy, a frenetic blend of speed, strategy, and sheer physicality. The opposing team, a collection of elite athletes from the planet Zalara, moved with a grace and precision that was almost mechanical. They were the reigning champions, their prowess legendary, and their confidence unshakable. But as the minutes ticked by, it became clear to the Zalarans that something was different. The humans were not just holding their own, they were excelling. Their movements were unpredictable, their strategies unorthodox. Mia darted through the fray with an agility that defied expectation, her every action a testament to human adaptability. Her teammate, David Kim, displayed a tactical acumen that seemed to unravel the Zolarans' plans before they could even be enacted. The crowd began to take notice, the hum of conversation rising in a crescendo of astonishment. The humans were not just surviving, they were thriving. And at the heart of their success was something ineffable, a spark, an indomitable spirit that resonated beyond mere physicality. As the game progressed, the Zolarans' initial confidence began to waver. Their captain, a towering figure named Thalan, watched in disbelief as his team struggled to keep pace. The humans' seemingly endless reserve of energy and creativity was unlike anything he had encountered before. He realized, with a growing sense of unease, that they had underestimated humanity. Meanwhile, high above in the VIP box, Ambassador Tikal observed the proceedings with an intense focus. The ambassador was an imposing figure, with skin that shimmered like polished obsidian and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of eons. Tikal had been skeptical of humanity's inclusion in the tournament, viewing them as a curiosity rather than true contenders. But what unfolded before them was challenging that perception. Back on the field, the turning point came in the form of a challenge that required both strength and ingenuity. The teams were tasked with navigating a labyrinthine structure suspended in the air, retrieving a series of spherical objects while fending off automated defenses. The Zolarans, with their superior physical capabilities, surged ahead initially. But the humans had a different approach. Instead of brute force, they employed teamwork and creativity. Mia and David scaled the structure with a nimbleness that seemed to defy gravity, while their teammates communicated through a series of rapid hand signals and code words. They adapted on the fly, responding to each new obstacle with inventive solutions. The crowd watched, enraptured, as the humans began to close the gap, their ingenuity shining through. The culmination of their efforts arrived when Mia, perched precariously on a narrow ledge, orchestrated a daring maneuver. With a nod to her team below, she leapt from the structure, catching the final sphere midair before landing with a graceful roll. The crowd erupted in a cacophony of cheers and astonished gasps, the humans' audacious display capturing the hearts of many. As the game drew to a close, the scoreboard reflected what many had deemed impossible. The humans had not only kept pace with the Zolarans, they had surpassed them. It was a victory born of more than physical prowess, it was a triumph of spirit and intellect, a testament to the boundless potential of humanity. In the aftermath, as the crowd's applause thundered through the stadium, Mia and her team stood together, their arms around each other in a jubilant embrace. They had done it, they had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. As they celebrated, Mia's gaze drifted across the stands, meeting the eyes of Ambassador Tikal. There was a moment of recognition, a silent acknowledgement of what had transpired. The ambassador inclined their head in a gesture of respect, a subtle but profound admission that humanity had earned its place among the stars. In the days that followed, the story of the humans' triumph spread far and wide, resonating across the cosmos. They had achieved more than victory, they had changed perceptions, challenging the status quo and inspiring countless others to see humanity in a new light. For Mia and her team, the tournament was a turning point, a catalyst for change that would echo through history. They had not only proven their worth as competitors, they had shown the universe the power of the human spirit, a force as vast and unyielding as the stars themselves. And as the celebrations continued, Mia found herself pondering the future, a smile playing on her lips. They had set out to redefine what it meant to be human, and in doing so, had embarked on a journey that was only just beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and challenges yet to be discovered. But with each step forward, they carried with them the knowledge that they were capable of greatness. In the quiet moments, as the noise of celebration faded into the background, Mia stood with David, overlooking the arena that had been the stage for their victory. The stars glittered above, a reminder of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. "You know," David said, breaking the silence, "I think this is just the beginning for us." Mia turned to him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "I think you're right," she replied, her voice filled with a quiet determination. "The universe is watching, and we're just getting started." They stood there, side by side, united in purpose and bound by an unbreakable bond. Together, they had faced the unknown and emerged victorious, and together, they would continue to push the boundaries of what was possible. In that moment, beneath the vast expanse of the galaxy, they knew one thing for certain. Humanity was destined for greatness, and nothing could stand in their way. The stadium thrummed with an energy that seemed to ripple through the air, as palpable as the heartbeat of a living creature. The crowd, a tapestry of species with skin and scales, fur and feathers, sat in hushed anticipation, their collective breath held at the brink of a moment they would all remember. On the field, under the vivid glow of alien floodlights, Sarah Donovan, captain of the human team, stood poised at the center. Her eyes, bright and unwavering, scanned the field as she adjusted her stance, feeling the electric crackle of expectation in her limbs. Around her, her team of athletes moved with a coordinated grace that belied the centuries of evolution and perseverance embedded in their very DNA. Across from them, the Grendar, a formidable species of towering, reptilian warriors, loomed with an arrogance born of millennia of dominance. Their captain, Xerethic, sneered, scales shimmering in the artificial light, confident that this final event would secure their victory in the intergalactic tournament. They had underestimated humans from the start, dismissing them as mere upstarts in a galaxy full of ancient, storied civilizations. But humans had a knack for surprises. The game was a complex blend of strategy and athleticism, a sport that demanded not just physical prowess but mental acuity. Dubbed Galactic Conquest, it was a mix of rugby, capture the flag, and chess, played out across a field that shifted and morphed with each passing minute. It was a test of endurance, wit, and unity. The whistle blew, a shrill, piercing sound that sliced through the tension, and the game erupted into motion. The Grendar surged forward, their massive forms charging with the ferocity of a tidal wave. But Sarah was ready. She darted forward, her movements fluid and precise, a dancer in a cosmic ballet. Her teammates flanked her, a synchronized unit driven by trust and unyielding determination. The ball, an iridescent orb that shimmered with every touch, passed from player to player, each toss and catch a testament to human dexterity. The Grendar were strong, but they lacked the finesse that humans had honed through countless hours of practice and a relentless drive to improve. As the game progressed, it became a spectacle of human excellence. Marcus, the team's strategist, called plays with a swift decisiveness, his eyes sharp and calculating. His voice, a beacon of clarity amidst the chaos, guided his teammates with an unerring precision. Elena, the team's fastest runner, blurred across the field, a comet of speed and agility. Her every movement was a symphony of muscle and momentum, leaving the Grendar scrambling in her wake. The crowd began to stir, a murmur of disbelief echoing through the stadium as the humans held their ground against the Grendar's relentless onslaught. The humans were not just surviving, they were thriving, turning the game into a showcase of their unique talents. As the final minutes of the game ticked away, the score was deadlocked. The Grendar, once confident of their supremacy, now found themselves questioning the very foundations of their arrogance. Xerethac's expression shifted from derision to frustration, his eyes flickering with the realization that this contest was slipping through their clawed grasp. In the dying moments of the game, with the score tied, Sarah caught sight of an opportunity. Her heart pounded with the rhythm of a war drum as she signaled to her team. They responded instantly, their trust in her absolute. The plan unfurled with a seamless elegance, a maneuver they had practiced countless times. Elena streaked across the field, drawing the attention of the Grendar defenders. At the last second, she veered sharply, sending the ball soaring through the air. It was a risky pass, a testament to human audacity. But Sarah was there, her eyes locked onto the orb as it descended. Time seemed to slow, the world narrowing to the space between her hands and the ball. With a leap that defied gravity, she caught it, tucking it securely against her chest as she landed, momentum carrying her forward. The Grendar lunged, but she was already past, a blur of determination and skill. The goal was in sight, a tantalizing beacon at the end of a journey that had demanded everything from her and her team. Sarah pushed herself harder, her muscles screaming in protest, yet fueled by the inexhaustible well of human willpower. With a final, desperate burst of speed, she crossed the goal line, the orb cradled securely in her arms. The stadium erupted, an explosion of sound that reverberated through the very fabric of space. The scoreboard flashed, the score shifting to reflect the undeniable truth. Humans had won. The Grendar fell silent, their defeat a stark contrast to the jubilant cries of the human supporters. Xerethic stood motionless, his eyes wide with disbelief. In that moment, he understood the depth of his misjudgment, realizing too late that humans were not to be underestimated. As the human team gathered around their captain, the weight of their achievement settled over them. They had not only won a game, they had earned the respect of the galaxy, proving that humanity's place among the stars was not only deserved but inevitable. In the midst of the celebration, Sarah felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to find Marcus standing there, his eyes shining with pride and something deeper, an affection that had grown through shared struggles and triumphs. He smiled, a warm, genuine expression that spoke volumes. "You did it, Sarah," he said, his voice barely audible over the roar of the crowd. "We did it," she returned his smile, her heart swelling with a profound sense of connection. In that moment, amidst the chaos of victory, a new understanding sparked between them, a promise of something more than friendship. As the celebrations continued, the stars above bore silent witness to the momentous occasion. Humanity had arrived, and they had done so in the most spectacular way possible. The galaxy watched, and for the first time, they truly saw what humans were capable of. Not just surviving but excelling, not just existing but thriving, fueled by a boundless capacity for love and hope. The tournament was over, but for Sarah, Marcus, and the rest of humanity, the journey was just beginning. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with the knowledge that they had already achieved the impossible. As the cheering continued, the future stretched out before them, as vast and limitless as the universe itself. And in the heart of the stadium, two humans stood side by side, knowing that the real victory was the bond they had forged, a connection as enduring as the stars. The stadium was a cacophony of sound, a vibrant symphony of victory that could be heard across the vastness of the galaxy, resonating through every heart that had witnessed the impossible. Humanity had won. Against all odds, against an array of species that had dominated the tournament for centuries, the humans had prevailed. Amidst the jubilant chaos, Kara stood at the center of the field, her breath still ragged from the final sprint that had secured their victory. Her teammates, a motley crew of varied shapes and sizes, surrounded her, each face reflecting the sheer exhilaration of what they had achieved. The air was electric with the shared realization that this was more than just a victory in sport. It was a testament to their indomitable spirit. As the cheers from the interstellar audience surged around her, Kara's eyes found those of Xylek, the enigmatic commentator from the Andromedan cluster who had become an unexpected ally. His luminescent eyes glistened with pride, a warm smile spreading across his otherwise stoic features. They had exchanged more than strategies in the quiet moments between matches. There had been an unspoken connection that transcended their differences, bound by mutual respect and burgeoning affection. Xylek made his way through the crowd, his elegant gait a stark contrast to the raucous celebration. Kara met him halfway, their eyes locked with a promise of something more than friendship. "You did it," Xylek said, his voice a soothing balm amidst the frenetic energy. "You showed them what humanity is truly capable of." Kara laughed, the sound bright and unrestrained. "We did it," she corrected, reaching out to clasp his hand. The warmth of his touch was grounding, a reminder of the journey they had undertaken together. "Thank you for believing in us, in me." As they stood there, the universe seemed to pause around them. In that moment, under the myriad stars, their differences evaporated in the glow of shared triumph and the potential for something deeper. Theirs was a bond forged in the fires of competition, tempered by mutual admiration, and it promised to endure long after the final whistle. The victory had ramifications that rippled across the cosmos. Humanity's unexpected triumph sent shockwaves through the tournament's governing council, forcing a re-evaluation of the status quo. For too long, the tournament had been a stage where the same species dominated, their superiority unchallenged. Humanity's victory shattered those assumptions, igniting a spirit of reform and inclusivity that resonated with planets far and wide. In the days that followed, Kara and her team were celebrated as champions, their names spoken with reverence in the great halls of the Galactic Assembly. Their triumph was seen not just as a win for Earth, but as a victory for all underdogs, for every species that had been sidelined or underestimated. The Council, once a bastion of tradition, now buzzed with new ideas and perspectives. A new era dawned, one where collaboration and diversity were finally given their due. The tournament's rules were amended to ensure fairer play and broader participation, inspired by humanity's example of teamwork and resilience. For Kara, the win was the culmination of a personal journey that had begun with doubt and insecurity. She had grown, as a leader and as a person, through the trials of the tournament. Her triumph was not just in scoring the final goal, but in fostering a team that thrived on unity and determination. Her teammates, each with their own stories of struggle and perseverance, found their dreams realized in the wake of their victory. Jax, the Martian strategist whose cunning plays had turned the tide in their favor, was offered a prestigious position as an advisor to the Council, his tactical genius sought after by many. Terra, the Venusian sprinter known for her agility and grace, became an ambassador for interplanetary cooperation, her charisma and passion inspiring countless others to bridge the divides that separated their worlds. Even the enigmatic Xylar, whose telepathic abilities had initially caused mistrust, was now celebrated for his contributions. He found acceptance and belonging among the humans, his once hidden talents now openly embraced. As the curtain fell on the tournament, the galaxy watched with bated breath to see what humanity would do next. The answer was simple. They would continue to push boundaries, to challenge conventions, and to reach for the stars with an unyielding spirit. In the quiet moments after the celebrations, Kara and Xylik found solace in each other's company, their connection deepening with each shared glance and whispered conversation. They stood on the balcony of the human embassy, watching as the twin moons of the host planet rose in tandem, casting a silver glow over the city below. "It's just the beginning," Kara said softly, her gaze fixed on the horizon where stars glittered like diamonds scattered across velvet. "We've shown them what we can do, but there's so much more ahead." Xylik nodded, his hand finding hers once more. "Together, we'll show them all. The universe is vast, and it's waiting for us to explore it." Their eyes met, and in that moment, words were unnecessary. They had found something rare and beautiful amidst the intensity of competition, a partnership that held the promise of adventure and discovery. Hand in hand, they would navigate the uncharted territories of both space and their hearts, united by the bond they had forged. As the night deepened, the galaxy continued to change in the wake of their victory. Humanity's triumph became a beacon of hope, a shining example of what could be achieved when differences were set aside in favor of collaboration and understanding. And so, the story of the tournament became legend, passed down through generations as a testament to the power of the human spirit. It was a reminder that no challenge was insurmountable, no dream too distant, for those with the courage to strive for it. In the end, the victory was more than a story of human achievement, it was a celebration of what it meant to be alive, to reach for the stars with open hearts and open minds. The universe had been forever changed, not just by the outcome of a game, but by the enduring legacy of those who dared to believe that anything was possible. As Kara and Xylik stood together, their future intertwined with the fate of worlds yet to be discovered, they knew that this was only the beginning. The journey ahead was vast and unknown, but they were ready to face it, side by side, with the same unwavering spirit that had brought them to this moment. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, they embarked on their next adventure, their hearts full of hope and the promise of a new dawn. Together, they would write the next chapter of their story, a tale of unity, love, and the boundless possibilities that awaited them in the great expanse of the cosmos.